Welcome to my channel. My name is Samira, aka Mastermind T, and this channel is called Mastering My Social Work because I feel like ultimately you are the master of your social work, whatever department you're in, whatever your discipline is, whatever niche. If it's medical social work, whether it's if you're a school social worker, you are the master of your own social work, whatever that looks like for you. I believe that really anything and everything is social work. You can kind of make it into social work, or one of my professors would say, you can make anything into social work, and I do believe that. So anywho, let's get into it. So this video is going to be why I decided to obtain my Lcsw. Now, some social workers, they're fine with getting their BSW, their bachelor's in social work, their MSW, their master's in social work. Here where I am in the state of Virginia, you can have your LMSW, which is a licensed master social worker, where after you receive your MSW, your master's in social work, you go ahead and you test for your LMSW. So some do that. That was an option for me as well once I graduated with my master's degree in social work. However, my dream job at the time would have taken an LMSW, but I think they give you 3 years, and then you have to get your Lcsw. So for me, I was like, well, let me just go ahead and instead of sitting for 2 tests, which in hindsight, I really wish I would have obtained my LMSW first. That's a whole nother story, whole nother video. But I wish I would have obtained my LMSW first and then got my Lcsw. But I received my MSW first. I worked for a hospital for about, well, altogether it's about 3 years, but I did my 2 years supervision underneath my Lcsw supervisor. That was not with the hospital, so I had to pay for that out of pocket. And then once my 2 years were up, I went ahead and tested, and I passed. So I have made a video on that. That's my very first video, which I see a lot of you are watching. So thank you so much for watching it, for liking it. Please share it. Please leave comments. I believe right now around this time, so many people are watching it because they're graduating, they're looking for jobs. Some of them are testing. So I hope that video could shed a little bit of light on my success, my tips on how I passed the Lcsw. But anywho, so why the Lcsw? So one, my dream job at the time, pretty much the goal was 3 years Lcsw. So I just figured, why not go ahead and try to knock out the Lcsw now, so I don't have to worry about that later down the road. I'm looking down, y'all, because I wrote this stuff down in my notebook. It's a little late at night. I have me a little coffee, you know, so I'm filming this video when I can get it in. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I work full time, I'm a doctoral student, so I apologize if the videos aren't rolling out, but I'm trying to get it in where I can fit it in, okay? Let me see. Okay, so the federal job, and then, okay, so also, the Lcsw is the highest, well, in Virginia, it's the highest licensure for a social worker. So I figured, why not? That's just me. Why not go ahead and try to get the highest? So no matter what job, no matter what I want to do for my field, for my profession, I have the highest licensure possible. I don't ever want anything to hinder me or anything to stop me or from hindering me from obtaining the job that I would like to obtain. So that's just me. So that's another reason. And also, I wasn't sure at the time of wanting to do therapy. And in the state of Virginia, for social workers to be able to provide therapy, you have to be a licensed clinical social worker. I know, let me not get into that. You have to be an Lcsw, a licensed clinical social worker. That is what it states. So that's what the board states, that's what it states. You have to be a licensed clinical social worker. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but if I did, I didn't want the fact that I waited for 2 years or waited years to go by when I could have already been in supervision and went ahead and obtained my license. So that's another reason why. And also, with being a therapist, being a licensed clinical social worker, which I wasn't there, I provided therapy for about 9 months. I'll make a whole video about that, about the pros and the cons and things like that. But the lure of being an entrepreneur, of pretty much working for myself, having my own business, having my own office, my own therapy center. And nowadays, you really don't even need an office. You can just do therapy. You can do telehealth. But that was very alluring for me. So that was another reason why I was like, okay, as an Lcsw, I can work for myself. I can build for myself. I can go a business for myself. So that was very appealing. So all of these options pretty much led me back to saying like, hey, you have to get your license. You have to get your Lcsw. So, you know, those are the reasons why I decided to do it. Not everyone has a desire to have an Lcsw. When I was a medical social worker, I worked with someone, great woman, awesome. She worked for the hospital that I worked at, for the company that I worked for over about 30 years. At that time, that was longer than I had been alive, okay? She was awesome. She was a wealth of knowledge. And she had her MSW, and she told me she had no desire to get her license. She was just like, that's just not what I want to do. And also, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I know a lot of people who have said, especially social workers that are in like macro, like in policy level agencies and doing things like that. They say like, you know, we don't need a license. I'm fine with my MSW, which is awesome. I don't feel like everybody needs their LCSW. I'm a strong believer in, of course, self-determination. Everybody has the right to choose. And for some people's life, some people's lifestyle, some people's professions, they don't like the LCSW, especially if you have to pay out of pocket. It is expensive. It can be very expensive. My supervisor was very gracious. She did not charge me a lot. It was not that much, you know. However, for those who are just graduating, and you know, graduate degrees, usually a lot of us have families, we have life, we have bills. So having to pay for that supervision out of pocket, if it's not provided for you through the agency or the company that you work for, it can be expensive, it can be pricey. And some people may say, hey, I'm making good money on my own now. I'm continuously getting raises and increases. So why do I need to get this license? I get it, you know, it's not for everybody. Some people feel like they don't need to get it. But for me, like I said, for the reasons that I stated, everything was just like, okay, Samira, go ahead and get this LCSW, go ahead and get this license so you don't have anything to worry about. So yeah, not everybody wants to take it. Not everybody feels the need to do it, but I feel like it's what you feel was best for you. I strongly encourage, I strongly advise that if you do want to receive your LCSW, I was going to say try to find an agency that will provide the licensure for you. However, so with that, which is a plus because you don't have to pay for it. However, most of the times when you work for an agency that provides supervision for you, there are stipulations such as you cannot leave this company for, I think I've heard one of my friends said 5 years. You got to stay with us for 5 years. Honestly, that wouldn't have worked for me because I'm like, when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. And yeah, if it's some unethical things going on, I'm not staying for the company just because you pay for my licensure. But then if you leave early, you have to pay it back. So for me, I don't like to owe anybody, you know, hence the whole financial social work, financial freedom. I don't like to owe people. I don't like to owe nobody, you know. So I was like, let me go ahead. I can pay for it out of pocket, and that'll be that. And then I also like the fact that my supervisor did not work for my company. So she never worked, well, she worked hospice and she did work as a medical social worker, but for the children's side, I did mainly like adults. So to me, she was very non-biased. So she was able to give me insight looking outside, looking into certain things. So I really appreciated that. There was no like inside gain for her to tell me about this or tell me about that because it's for the best interest of the company, underlying theme, you know, like no, you know, she didn't know anybody that I worked with, never worked for the company. She got nothing. So I greatly appreciated that. But yeah, so let me really quickly run down the reasons why I decided to get my LCSW. One, the job at the time that I wanted. The highest license that you ultimately were going to need was an LCSW, the federal job I wanted. 2, the LCSW in the state of Virginia is the highest licensure for a social worker. 3, I was undecided on if I wanted to do therapy, but if I did want to do therapy, I didn't want a license, my LCSW, to hinder me because I didn't have it. And 4, entrepreneurship. If I wanted to work for myself, use my LCSW, open up my own therapy office center, have employees run my business, I can do so. So yeah, so I hope this video helped you all if you're kind of torn on if you feel like you should get your licensure or your LCSW. Let me be specific because you can also get your LMSW, but your LCSW. If you want me to go more in depth, if you have any comments or anything, please leave it down at the description box. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, y'all. It's Friday. I'm gonna try to knock out some more videos to bring some more content to y'all. I'm sorry that it's been so long, but I'm trying my best, y'all. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.